thank everyone for coming out to our Tech Talk. Tech Talk inside of network security. This being cybersecurity month, we thought we'd pick up the theme, You Got Mail. I'm sure every one of you at one time or another received some type of a mail, perhaps a phone call that you were wondering whether it was legit or not. Let me look at you. See this one that I received just the other day here. This is an email that I received, and it makes a statement here. Let me let you see this, and you tell me what you think about it. Dear employees, click here. It says, this year the company has decided to throw a birthday party for our CEO. This will take place 2 weeks from now. We want you to be a part of this celebration. We felt you deserve some fun time after all the hard work you do. However, this is a surprise party. That is why we're using this RSVP event service. Please keep this a secret and do not talk about it in the halls. And say you must RVP to this event, as we would need to know how much food to cater in. Please click here to RSVP and let us know how many others you will be bringing. Your family members are invited. What do you think I should do in an email like that? Eat it. That's exactly right. I'm sure some of us will have, at one time or another, have received some type of an email similar to that. Let me show you another little clip here that I received. This is one here that I thought was interesting here, and it really actually comes from AARP. It says, that's the red flag. The minute they start asking you those personal questions, that's when you need to hang up. Let me play this little clip for you, just a second or two, and you tell me what you think about it. Can we hear that? Not yet? Let's start it over. I'm going to start it over. Let's restart. Notice this.
And once it gets expired after that, you will be taken under custody by the local police, as there are more serious allegations pressed on your name at this moment.
I'm just trying to check on you. I know we were trying to move forward with the insurance plan, and just checking in to see if your car has been fixed for the down payment. Give me a ring back whenever you have a minute.
What do you think I should do with a phone call like that?
Don't call immediately, hang up.
Hang him up.
If it's a cell phone, you Google the number,
See if it's legit or not, correct? That's exactly right. And so that's why we felt.
Immediately block it.
That's right, block it. That's exactly right. And some of us get phone calls from phones that look exactly like ours. The first 6 digits are similar to ours, but the last 4 may be a little off. When we dial those numbers, it automatically goes back into a database or something. So we want to be careful. And so that's why we invited a district coordinator, Marquita Thomas, who would talk to us. She's the coordinator of the information privacy and security at the district level. So we invited her to come over and give us some tips on network security. You've got mail. Take your attention to Marquita.
Good afternoon, Mountain View. Good afternoon. I think we talked a little bit last year about fishing, but fishing never goes away, so we'll keep that on our forefront. So let me just ask you guys a question. On last week, did you all notice a lot of phishing that was coming through last week? Very good. So you were aware of the phishing messages that were coming through. That is actually part of our phishing simulation. We have recently partnered with KnowBe4, and they will be providing our phishing simulation, and they will also be providing our security awareness training that we will soon be launching. So it's good to know that you guys are paying attention to those phishing emails. So Charles invited me out to the Tech Talk, and we're going to keep it kind of informal because I don't know, when I hear Tech Talk, I just kind of think, people sitting around the table just kind of talking about a few things. So we'll keep it a little informal, but again, my name is Marquita Thomas. I am the District Coordinator of Information Privacy and Security. I work at the District Service Center for our Chief Information Privacy and Security Officer. His name is David Williams. So let's talk a little bit about what phishing is. Phishing is basically when cyber criminals are trying to obtain your personal information from you. So they're sending you emails. Actually, it can be different forms, and we'll look at the next slide for that. But it's designed to trick you into clicking on a link and to providing your personal or financial information. So be wary of those links that you see in your emails, like the ones that Charles just showed us. Often, like you just saw, it's in the form of an email or a website. It may appear to come from legitimate companies, organizations, or known individuals, and that's usually termed spoofing. So let's talk about the types of phishing attacks. Like I said, there's not just email phishing attacks, but we'll talk first about spear phishing. So spear phishing is when you are targeted specifically. So it's directed at specific individuals or companies, so that in that email that you get, it may actually have your name on it. So you are actually a targeted individual. How many of us have social profiles out there on the web? Nobody has Facebook? Okay, all right. How many of us do shopping online? All right. What's some other things? Let's see. Social network, shopping online. Those are some of the ways that the cyber criminals are obtaining your personal information. So be careful when you're out there online. Make sure when you are shopping and doing things of that nature, make sure you see the HTTPS as opposed to HTTP. The HTTPS means that website is secure. So never enter your information when it only says HTTP, because the cyber criminals can attack those websites. Phishing. Charles just gave us a clip of phishing, which is voicemail phishing. It's phone phishing, where the phisher makes a phone call and the user is asked either to dial a number. Like you said, don't call the number back, because the purpose of that is to get your personal information. And so they can store your phone number once you call that number back. If you don't recognize the number, if you didn't recognize the message that was left, if they left you a message, just delete it. Another type of phishing is smishing. So that is actually phishing that is done through text messaging. So smishing is SMS, which is short message service. So again, like I said, that's a telephone based via text message. Whaling. Has anybody heard of that type of phishing? That is basically targeted to the big fish. Somebody like maybe Joe May. So they're targeting, as they call it, the big fish, the executive level individuals, those who have a great authority of access. And another type of phishing is called cloning, whereby a legitimate email has been spoofed, it has been copied and cloned, and it looks just like the original, but once you click on the links will be malicious, or they'll either lead you to some place you don't want to go. And you all feel free to ask questions as I'm talking. We don't have to wait till the end.
So, I have a question.
Yes.
On the cloning, is there a way you would know that it was?
Yeah, that's the one thing is, how would you know?
Well, you would know by seeing the links. If there are links in the emails, you don't click on them. You always want to hover over those links and see where it goes. So if the link says let's just say it says www.att.com, the link may say that, but when you hover over it, it may say, oh, McDonald has a farm or something like that. So you always want to verify that that link is actually going where it's supposed to go.
And don't they usually have like something that's misspelled or?
Yes, and we'll talk about some of the red flags and some of the signs. Yes, exactly. So, as she just mentioned, let's talk about some of the characteristics of a phishing email. Some of the characteristics or some of the red flags you may see, and I do have a handout, I'll hand these out, would be a generic greeting or a closing. And I have some handouts for you that actually show you some red flags to look out for. I hope I brought enough. So those are some of the social engineering or red flags to look out for. Generic greeting and or closing. You'll see emails that require action or invoke a sense of urgency, like something, it may say your account is going to be closed in 24 hours if you don't click on this link or if you don't follow through. So those types of emails. It's got threatening language. Yeah, again, if you don't do this, these are the consequences. One of the things you want to look for is the link in an email or the attachment. Always hover over those links. And we'll talk about that some more. Attachments. If you received an attachment from somebody that you don't know, an unsolicited attachment, you don't know that person, Pick up the phone, give them a call. Hey, Brian, I see you sent me this email. Did you send me a file to go with it? Brian says, no, I didn't send you that file. You want to delete it or you want to report it? A lot of spam or phishing emails have incorrect grammar or incorrect spelling in them. And again, they have that generic closing or greeting. Okay, so this is the sheet that I just passed out to you. So some of the things you want to look for in your email. Look for who it's from. I don't have a copy of it, but we have received phishing emails that say they've come from Joe May. Yes, exactly. So, and a lot of times that's odd. Now, granted, Joe, Dr. May will send us communication that needs to be sent out district-wide, but pay attention to the body of the message. Is it a typical email that you would get from Joe May? So y'all always want to look at who it's from. Is it from somebody outside of your organization? If so, that could be fine. It could be somebody that you work with outside of MDC, but be leery, make sure it's somebody that you know if they're sending you links or attachments. Again, we've received phishing emails within CCCD from someone that is inside the organization. Sometimes people go out, they may be at a coffee shop or they may be out of town, they took their laptop with them, they're on an open Wi-Fi network and someone has hacked into their account and they are sending emails as joemay@uccd.edu. Just be mindful of what the email is about and look for those flags. Look at who it's to. Sometimes you may notice you get emails that are to you and they may be to a group of people. Is it a group that you normally are in? Would you typically be in that group? Pay attention to that. Again, like I said, the hyperlink. So you would look here and make sure the email or the link is going to where it's supposed to be going. And you simply would do that just by hovering over the link with your mouse. You don't have to click on it to do that. You just hover over it and it'll show you where that link is going. Another thing it says to look out for is the date. Did I receive an email that normally that I would normally get during business hours? Or was it sent at an unusual time, like 3 o'clock in the morning? Look for things like that. Subject. Sometimes you'll have generic subjects that'll just say lucky winner or something very generic. Pay attention to those things. Again, be leery of those attachments. Were you looking for an attachment from Joe May? Were you looking for an attachment from your coworker? If not, again, verify. Pick up the phone, call, and ask. And just look at the content. Look at what it's saying. Again, it may have some of those bad grammatical errors or spelling errors. Things of that nature. Any questions on the red flags? And this just talks a little bit more about what I've already said. Hover over the links to verify its location. Again, verify, verify, verify. Call that person. Hover over. Make sure it looks good. Do not click on unknown links or download unsolicited attachments. Sometimes when you get a phish, those links could be malicious software, and you don't want to download any malicious software onto your computer or onto the network. Being that we are on a network, that will just spread all over campus and potentially to other locations as well. Do not enter your credentials such as your user ID or your password. That's what the cyber criminals are looking for. If they have your private information, your user ID and their password, then they can do what they want to do with that information. Back up your files regularly. Here at work, that's something that your IT department does. We back up files here at the district, but at home, make sure you back up your files on your computer. Something that we do at home is we have an external hard drive. We back up our files to an external hard drive. That's just an option. Do not reply to emails that you are not sure of. Update your software frequently. Again, here at the district, that's something that your IT department will do, but at home, make sure you are updating. So even on your phone, when you're getting a message that says your software is out of date, update that software. That you're doing that because you want to patch your software. Those are helping us stay safe. Report a suspected attack and delete from your inbox. So let's talk a little bit about reporting a phish. What do you do when you think you've reported a phish? Now we have something that's called a fish alert button. And I have another handout for you. I'm gonna make you work, Charles. Thank you for being my assistant.
It's okay.
So, as I mentioned earlier, we have partnered with a vendor by the name of Know Before. And so, have any of you all seen this little fish alert button in your Microsoft Outlook client? Can I get a show of hands, please? I'm just curious how well it's being rolled out. Okay, awesome. I'll show you what it looks like in just a few minutes if you hadn't seen it. So when you're in Microsoft Outlook and you have a fish, or you suspect that you have a fish, all you simply have to do now is click on this button. Click on that fish alert button and it will send your fish over to the IT department, district level IT. That way they can look at the fish, analyze it, and block that sender from our network. And it will delete from your inbox. So once you hit the button, the fish will be sent over to IT and then it will be deleted from your inbox. I will say this though, if you do accidentally click on the fish alert button and it was a good email, it will be sent to your trash. So it's not totally gone, you will be able to recover it if need be. So again, if you think you have a fish, you're going to click on the fish alert button. If you don't have the fish alert button, what you're doing now is forwarding your emails to cert@bccd.edu. If you don't have a fish alert button, you can still continue to forward those to CSERT, but we want to get that fish alert button in your Microsoft client. When in doubt, if you have some questions, ask your information privacy and security officer, or and see if they can help you look at it if you still have questions about it. When you're at home, these are just some of the avenues that you have for reporting. You can contact the FTC, you can forward phishing emails to spam@uce.gov, and you can report it to the anti-phishing work group. And so let me just show you what that fish alert button looks like in the online web access version. For those of you who may not have seen it. Give me a second to log in here. So are there some of you that have not seen the fish alert button yet? Hadn't seen it yet? Okay. See if I can get logged in here. Okay, I think it's thinking about it. Where'd it go? Let me try another web browser.
I have a screen capture on here if you want me to pull them up so they can see it.
Do you?
Yeah. The screen's up.
Oh, wait here. I think we're good.
You got it? Okay.
I think so, yeah. Oh, gosh. Okay, it doesn't like my name. Picky, all right. Okay, so of course this is OWA, this is the online version of Outlook. And so let's click on a message here. So if I click on my message, it brings up the fish alert button here. So this is what it looks like in Outlook on the web. And so again, if you suspect you have a fishy email, then you would just simply click on this fish alert button here. And then it's going to prompt you and ask you, are you sure you want to report this as a fish? It's normally a little bit quicker than this. It just doesn't want to cooperate today. All right, well, we'll move on. But again, like I said, you click on the button, and of course I've clicked on the button, and this is a prompt, and normally it'll ask, are you sure you want to report this as a fish? And then you'll simply click yes, and it'll send the email over to CSERT at DSC. So that's what your fish alert button looks like. Any questions about that?
Okay, so that's what it looks like. So what do? You click on it, and then can you reiterate what you stated a while back about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, if you think you have a fish, you see your email there,
Right.
you simply click on the button,
Okay.
and then it should prompt you. I don't know why it's so slow today, but it'll just prompt you and it'll ask you, are you sure you want to report this as a fish?
Okay.
And you'll basically just click yes, and then it will delete it from your inbox and it will send it over to DSCIT.
Okay, good.
Is that supposed to pop up on every email?
You should see the icon on any email.
On any email?
On any email, yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and look for it, I've never seen it.
So it's here on the online version. It should be across the board. Now, I know there were some issues with some client versions, like on your actual client. So if you don't have it on your client, contact your IT department, and hopefully they can get it loaded on for you. All right. So this is actually what it looks like on the client. It should be right up there at the top in the ribbon. Okay, and to sum it all up, we basically cannot stop cyber criminals from sending us bad emails. However, becoming aware of what it is and what we're looking for can limit our response to them, which in turn will protect our resources as well as our network. And these are just some additional sources that you can go out and do more research on if you, in your free time. You can go to antifishing.org. fraudwatchinternational.com, fishme.com is a good resource, online.gov/phishing, consumer FTC, FBI.gov, again, fishme.gov. They have lots of different infographics. Wikipedia, look up phishing, and phishing.org is another great resource. And that is actually all I have. Do we have any questions?
I just want to add something about a credit card that happened to me about a few weeks ago. I have a phone call on Sunday from the credit card vendor just called me and notified me that somebody using my card asked me do I purchase like $300-some stuff online on Sunday. And like I'll stay, I say no, and then they pretty much just go ahead and lock that account for me, give me a credit card. So my suggestion is make sure you sign up with a credit card and they have that capability to do that for you.
Right, well, they have the fraud alert.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely, fraud alert. And then that would have been something that you probably would have wanted to report as well. So, go back. So yeah, that would be something that you would want to report. You can report it to ftc.gov. So, yeah, you actually want to have fraud alert on your credit cards. That's awesome. Any other questions or comments? All right, well, thank you very much.
All right. I'd like to thank Marquita for that fine information that she reported to us there. And again, if you don't see that phishing button in the top right corner, next to the reply, then by all means get with us because it's readily available on the end drive so we can put it on there or show you, walk you through how to put it on there. Here's one has. Okay, Ty has a picture of it, so we'll show it to you there. It's readily available for everyone on the, and the name of the folder, if you go out to the end drive, you see a folder out there, the folder is entitled Know Before. Know before you click. Know if it's phishing or not. If you're not sure, send it to the district, and no doubt they'll get back with us and let us know whether it's a phishing attack or not, okay? Either contact one of us in the IT department so we can let you know whether it's a phishing attack or not. Ty has a picture of it, there we go, right there. That's how you'll see it on your email.
Oh, gotten too big?
You too big?
See, it should be on the right-hand side. Yes.
That's on the client, right?
That's on the office client.
On
Yes.
Office client.
I don't even know if it's an online version or a client version.
When anytime you click on, please, anytime you click, and you go to my portal, you come up and you go to my portal, then you're on the Outlook one, you're on the Office 365. But if you click on Outlook on the taskbar at the bottom, that's the client. So the client one, this will look like. But the one that she had up there, that would be my portal. The one that had the little fish hook,
Because I use both.
that's the difference.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if you see the little hook, most of the time it's on the my portal, but if you see the phishing alert,
That's gonna be
that's
on
on
the
the
client, the
client.
one on the bottom. Okay.
And you can see right below it, it says Know Before. You see that little Know Before. I thought that was real neat for them to there, Know Before. Know before you click on it, whether it's a phishing attack or not.
So Rebecca, earlier you asked for how the process on reporting it. The first thing, you go in and just select the email that you think is Once you did that, second step, click on this icon up here. Then it should pop up this screen. So the verify is going to say yes. That will send an email away from it.
And once you click on yes, it'll delete the inbox and push it over to IT.
Okay, cool.
I think what Lucky has mentioned to us that perhaps some of you have seen at times when you get a virus, you say, how the district will notice some unusual irregularity in the network. And they can detect where it's coming from by the switch and the port. So when they see that irregularity coming through, then they will block it on that port, which may be coming to your computer. And sometimes you may see where your network go down, or it may be irregular, and you're wondering what's going on. It may be because of too much irregular activity, suspicious activity. One good example is that some may listen to the radio. There's one radio station I know that a lot of people may listen to. It's called, help me out, Ty, you recall the name of that radio station? Sean, what's the name of the radio station a lot of friends listen to around? Pandora. Pandora. A lot of people listen to Pandora. Sometimes Pandora gives out a lot of irregularity packets. And so the district will perhaps notice that. And they may send us an alert, let us know the irregular activity coming through at this individual's workstation. They may block it to stop it until we investigate. So just to let you know, just little things that the district does for protection. It's really for the protection of the district. It's basically what it is, for our network. It's all for protection.
One more thing I'd like to mention. Sometimes we also get spam, and it's not necessarily malicious email. So you won't use the fish alert button for those. We actually have an email group that you can send those to. You can send them to spam at dCCCD.edu. Or you can put them in your clutter folder. So there's a clutter folder, and once Outlook sees that you have a pattern, then they'll actually send those to clutter for you. So if you have something that's a fish, of course we want to report it as a fish, but if you have just spam, ads, if somebody's spamming you, you can forward those to spam at dCCCD.edu or put them in your clutter folder.
I'm gonna let you listen to a little of this. Of course, AARP must realize I just turned 50.
will be taken under custody by the
Notice what it says.
as there are no serious allegations pressed on your name at this moment.
I'm just trying to check in with you. I know we were trying to move forward with the insurance plan. Just checking in to see if your car has been fixed for the down payment. Give me a ring back whenever you have a minute. AARP, The Perfect Scam, is brought to you by WebRoot.
They'll come back in a little bit more.
Security experts. October is National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and we each have a role to play in internet security. WebRoot helps you practice safe online habits, making the internet more secure for everyone. For AARP, The Perfect Scam Podcast, I'm Will Johnson. Welcome back, listeners. And believe it or not, yes, you guessed right, I am here with the AARP Smartwatch Network Ambassador, Frank Abagnale. Hello, Frank. Hi, Will. Great to be here. We have a very special episode for our listeners here today. It's called You've Got Mail with Frank, a brand new episode segment. Are you ready, Frank? I'm ready. Okay. We're basically going to go through some of our favorite voicemails and emails. So that's the You've Got Mail part. And get your feedback, thoughts, comments, asides. Sounds good. Whatever you want to do. And then we're going to talk about some of our favorite scams that are going on out there today. Not favorite in the sense that we like them, but favorite in the sense that we need them. And to help us do all this is our AARP podcast producer, Julie Getz. Julie, it's great to have you here on the show.
It's always great to be on the show with you, Will.
Well, and I understand you were sharing with us some fraudulent emails and phone calls, things like that.
I am, and I'll tell you, I'm really excited about this new segment that we have this season, and excited to hear what Frank has to say about all these scary voicemails left on our cell
You
phones.
seem to get quite a few of those. I mean, we all do.
I do, almost every single day.
It's nuts.
So I'm going to start with this one. This is, I'm just going to play it back.
Could you read your phone number on the air first, please, Julie?
My own cell phone.
I'm just kidding.
Well, you know, it's tricky though. It is from the area code that my cell phone's in. So the scammer was very sneaky.
The scammers, right. So, but doesn't mean a thing, does it, Frank?
No, they do that on purpose so that you can believe it's a local call from someone you know.
I don't like that. I get phone calls, the ones that tricked me, by the way, sorry, Julie, are the ones that mimic my own cell phone number. I don't know if you've ever seen or heard this, but I've got some that look literally almost like a slight aberration on my number.
They can, as we've always said, they can manipulate the phones very easily.
All right, so here we go. You ready?
Hey, sorry to miss you. It's Rachel. I'm just calling to follow up on your business line of credit. It actually looks like I have you pre-approved for up to $250,000. Give me a call. The number that popped up on your caller ID is really like to catch up and go over some of the rates and terms. Have a great day.
Right? Rachel?
This is great news from Rachel. Should Julie, Frank, should Julie call that?
Absolutely not.
But Rachel sounds so friendly, like we're best friends.
And you got a lot of money.
And Rachel uses your name for familiarity, and then she basically gives you the big pitch line, I'm going to give you $250,000. And you can understand that some people may even say, well, this might be a scam, but I want to listen because I might be able to get $250,000 on a loan from these people. But obviously those are just pitches that people make. Once they get you on the phone, they're really looking for information. So obviously if you were someone who did call back and say, yes, I'm absolutely interested in this, even if it was a smaller loan, $40,000, $20,000, then the next question, of course, well, let me take your application over the phone, name, address, social security number, date of birth, credit card numbers, who you bank with, what's your bank account number.
And so that's why I thought this title that they have down here, that's the red flag. The minute they start asking you those personal questions, that's when you need to hang up. So a lot of little scams out there, telephone scams, email scams. So we're really trying to help you to be alert to what's going on and things to do to protect yourself. Not only now, but we know the holidays are coming up and a lot of people will be a little bit off guard as to what's happening, and they can really throw you off track. Denny, you had a thought?
Okay, if we can just discuss this, I just have it on my phone. Folks here, or this scam that you show up on your computer. You're using your computer and one of that suddenly shows up.
This I say is Trojan worm, or in other words, it's saying that your computer may have a virus, a ransomware, or some type of infection. Then it says, if you will continue following information can be compromised. Password history, browser history files, your credit card data. So sometimes they give you information, as you pointed out here, making you think that you have a virus or something in order to clear it up.
Yeah.
That's why you want to put it in
You know,
so you're going to
Can you see it there?
This, it will fix you.
Yeah.
They fix you.
Yeah, Tad's going to try to show it. Yeah, they try to trick you. In order to clear it up, then click over here or call this number in order to clear up the virus or something that you may have.
Yeah.
Does that look okay?
Yeah, that's
Can you
good.
guys see it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Sometimes when you're using the computer and this pops up on your screen, what happens is that your computer's gonna start beeping, no, beep,
And so you hit it down a little bit.
beep,
You had to come back
and
this way.
you sort of
Yeah,
excited
come back
and
toward me.
cause you to
Come back
act
toward me.
promptly.
Okay, but no, going
So
up.
what
You're going right.
situations, no, don't call me if that home, you don't call me.
Oh, did he?
So, what you do in situations, it
Automatic
mentioned
focus,
there,
so you just
That-
leave it
okay,
one.
there you go.
do not shut off
That's
your
good.
computer. What you want to do is to get this off your computer. So what you do, you press Control Alt Delete. And that brings up. Can you press Control Alt Delete?
On the computer, control all the niggas.
I think we have to take this thing off. Yeah, I got this
Take
one
that off.
also.
When you press Control Alt Delete, Task Manager, and you press Control Delete, you go to Task Manager. And most likely you're going to show up here, or you can close up Microsoft Windows. You're not going to get that off your computer. And then immediately afterward, you shut down your computer. You
So-
disconnect the power cord and make sure it's erased from the memory of your computer and you plug back in your computer. Afterwards, if you have good malware software on your computer, you run that on your computer. Now, something most of us are not aware of, if you have internet provider like AT&T or Spectrum, you have antivirus software that's available to you free. It's good antivirus software like McAfee. Use that as much as you can. And also you get free updates. So try and install that on your computer to protect your computer. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. So try and make the most use out of it. And also some of it is so good when you go on a site that is sort of compromised. It's going to let you know before alert you, do you really want to go there? And you have the opportunity to say yes or no. You can say no, and to protect you from going to a site that is compromised. So those are the tips that you want to be aware of.
And you may notice on some of your computers that we have here on campus, for sure, we have what is called CC Cleaner. You've seen that, right? The little red. And that's for a free malware cleaner. They can clean it. You can use it at home as well. Download it. Go to Google, type in CC Clean, and you'll see it there. It's a free malware cleaner that cleans out your cookies and just the trash that your computer picks up. Good tips that we can all use. I use it at home, and we use it here in the office, and we put it on just about every computer we go to on campus. We'll drop it on there if it's not on there already, just as an extra protection for you. And we encourage everyone to use it. If you're a heavy internet user, we encourage you to use it once a week. Run it once a week, just to clean it out. Keep it clean from various malware environments. Okay, I think Ty has something here too. Well, let's see. Markia is trying to pull up the instructions there for encryption.
Yeah, so it's basically, I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the Information Privacy and Security Department. We do have a website, and so on our site, the Information Privacy and Security Program, if you go down to Tools and Resources, you'll find this document here. And it shows you, it gives you instructions on how to protect the, whether it's a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, a PowerPoint presentation, or a PDF file. So the instructions are out there on how you would encrypt your document if you've got some sensitive information in there.
Any more questions? Good questions so far. Very good. Very good. Anything else? Okay. Well, again, we'd like to thank Marquita for coming over and giving us some fine tips. And on behalf of the Mountain View College and the IT department, we'd like to present you with a small gift of our appreciation.
Feel the love today.
Thank you. I like you.
We work hard for our gifts.
Well, actually, before we leave, we have a little survey we'd like to pass out. Adriana will pass a little survey out to you along with some pencils. Please let us know what you think. And if you have any tips you'd like to learn anything else on Tech Talk, pass it along so we can prepare it and have it ready for you to give to you in the next few months. We'd like to do another Tech Talk perhaps sometime in December, but we'd like to have some tips as to what you would like to hear from our Tech Talk. Good tips, okay?
Question. If we get feedback in today, you all, I can work with Charles to get something in for November.
That'd be great.
I'm working on workshops right now for November.
Very good, very good. All righty. Once we finish up the survey, we appreciate everyone coming out, okay? Thank you very much. And enjoy the refreshments that we have in the back.